28% is a substantial increase, no matter if you're talking apples, oranges, fish, or gasoline. That is an increase which people tend to forget that 80% of all the jobs come out of the private sector. 80% of every job, 8 out of the 10 people watching work for the private sector. These job-killing measures are exactly the opposite of what we should be paying attention to. It should be job retention, it should be job creation. And the hotel industry came to us. Remember, they didn't beg us, but they said, look, we are having a drop in not only visitors, we're having a drop in revenue, we're dropping the rates of our rooms. Don't do this. And I know our colleagues on the other side of the aisle say, well, they wanted a GT tax instead of that. And I heard very few, if any, voices that said, we want a GT tax. Nobody in the state of Hawaii wanted a GT tax. But in spite of that,
tourism is our #1 industry.
I mean, that's the goose that lays the golden egg. And with a 28% increase, while the industry was sick, I gave the analogy on the floor of the House. I said, if I came into Honolulu Airport as a visitor, I had 101 temperature, I had fever, I was vomiting, and I was dizzy. Would you then take me out to the marathon and think I was fit to run a race with the strength that I've got? The industry is down and out. It's as weak as someone who comes in the airport with 101 temperature. And why are we putting a burden on it even already when it's feeling sick and disabled? And how we did that and what is... See, the thing about being a policymaker, we never know immediately what happens. We only know in the slow and in the future what actually takes place. The analogy is we have been taxed the same way that you cook a frog. You don't boil the water and throw the frog in because it would jump out. You put it in nice warm water where it gets comfortable. You do a little bit of turning up the temperature, and then slowly, before it realizes it, we are taxed. And I have a constituent from Denmark who said, we started out with a sales tax at 5, 10, 15. Now it's 22%. And only after the 20 percentile did the Europeans, the Western Europeans, say, enough already. So all the businesses are leaving Denmark, they're leaving Sweden, because they got cooked so comfortably, because these were great causes.
Well, we're also cooking the goose for the real estate industry.
Conveyance tax.
Yes, we raised the conveyance tax. And I remember when I came into the legislature, when you conveyed something or sold some property, the conveyance tax was 5 cents per $100. And now we're raising the tax on properties over $2 million. And I think the top rate is like $1.30 per $100, from 5 cents to $1.30. And to me, this is unconscionable because it really hurts the industry when we're down. And we need to nurture that industry. It's a very important one in our economy.
Well, we're definitely sending the wrong message. It's basic fundamental economics, it really is. You cannot take jobs from the private sector, say we're losing jobs in the private sector. Well, you can't compensate with government to create jobs when the private sector is the one that provides the jobs. So eventually we're going to run out of somebody else's money to spend. And that's the scenario that's going to pan out in Hawaii if we continue to grow government and we don't put our foot down and really start to live the better type of quality life that we're supposed to be living. And that's government a little bit more, I'd say a lot more, out of our lives. And
you know, another tax that is going up is the tax on petroleum per barrel. Again, the tax used to be 5 cents per barrel, and we have raised it to $1.05 a barrel. So this will also translate into higher gasoline tax, and they're telling me it's only a few cents a gallon, but on top of the phase out of the GET tax on ethanol, which may be as 9 or 10 cents, you know, we're going to see a big jump. So July 1st is when these taxes go into effect. So,
but even without those added taxes, the OPEC and the Middle Eastern oil prices have been climbing up. So what we're going to see is another $3 and $4 taxes, and people are going to be down saying, what are you people doing with the cost of living in
Well,
Hawaii.
gasoline prices went tremendously down from where it was, so what a great time to place taxes on the citizenry, right? What a great time to pass taxes. People won't notice as much. Their gasoline pump is a little bit less than it usually, or well, it was. And
but
it's really
this
a
affects your
disservice.
price of bread,
Absolutely.
because all these truckers, the distributors, will be paying increased costs, and they're going to pass it on to the consumer, and that's the person who's in the market buying a loaf of bread, trying to feed
And
their
that's not
family.
mentioning the super ferry that puts the price of small business and other commodities on the neighbor islands extremely high, particularly Maui. And I won't even go there, but that's another hit that we took in terms of job killing and job creation
Absolutely.
in this particular
So when the economy is weak, what we really should be doing is trying to help small businesses and job
Relief.
creation, really help our people get ahead and not burden them with more taxes. And if we do realize more jobs and prosperity, then we will end up with more funds to be able to afford our education and our public health services and social services, which really help our people. But without the basic businesses, then we are in a really bad shape. We're just...
I would be amiss if we did mention one other job-killing act, and I'm not sure you totally agree, but there's many who are remorseful about the death of Act 221. That's the high-tech income tax credit, which in the last 10 years we've basically created an industry that has created jobs that start at $76,000. Generally speaking, you're making $76,000 in Hawaii. Hey, you're in a great city. These are beginning jobs at $76,000 that high-tech industry has made available. It was not an easy industry to begin, but we've got it moving, and now I think it's going to come up, and it's probably going to slow down and fade out. So I would be amiss if I didn't mention how there's an angry high-tech community out there. There's an angry tax community, there's an angry tech community, and there's an angry sex community.